Hello and blessings for the spring equinox. I've got a little bit of a cold situation, typical for spring, right? Changing seasons, time for a cold. Anyway, here's a meditation. May you have a blessed spring, find equanimity and connection and all the witchery and magic and mystery of our beloved Hekate. Hello, and welcome to you, and hail and welcome to the season of spring. Spring, that time of new beginnings, that time when the earth starts to reveal what has been hidden for so long. Spring is the season of rebirth. Of course, it brings to mind Persephone's myth, where she goes down, down, down to Hades town during the fallow time of the year. And then, with the assistance of Hekate and Hermes, she emerges to be reunited with her mother so that the season of spring can commence, thereby bringing growth and vitality to humanity and the world. It is such a beautiful part of that story, which is often really challenging for us to dive into. Different earlier parts of the story are very distressing to hear. And yet, the Kore Reborn, she emerges from the underworld, from the cave, whole, wiser, stronger. In entering Hecate's cave, I finished the book with a chapter called Kore Reborn. So if you are entering into the season of spring where you are in the world, I highly recommend spending some time with that chapter. So let's begin, as we always do, with our candle lighting ceremony. And shortly, I'll be leading us through a meditation. So you might want to take a moment here to get comfy and get a candle if you have one, and we'll begin. So let's light our candles together. And we'll do this ritual very simple with our candle. You can use an LED, doesn't matter what your candle you're using, connecting to that beautiful sacred flame, symbolic of our beloved Hekate, or torches. Of course, Demeter and Persephone also had torches, so they're the triple torch bearers. And let's just begin to do this threefold triformous ceremony of releasing the previous season, letting go of winter, letting go of the darker months, letting go perhaps of some aspects of us that long to be let go of, doing all of this, banishing and cleansing, getting into that energy of letting go. And then we shift the energy forward, moving that wheel of the year forward. Also in that protective energy, connecting us to the wheel of the year. Seeking to align with the wheel of the year, knowing that we are safe within the energy as we honor the turning wheel of the year. And of course, our invocation will connect us to our beloved Hekate. So I'm reading one of the additional prayers from the Keeping Her Keys book. And just as a short preface for this, on the spring equinox, the same as on the autumnal equinox, the day-night ratio is roughly balanced. And this is a great day on the spring equinox to really dial into that cycle of day and night. And so this prayer focuses on this idea of Hekate as a bringer of equanimity in our own lives, of balance. Prayer to Hekate, mistress of balance, on the spring equinox. Hail Hekate Pasicratrea, queen of the universe. Hail Hekate Agloas, creator of the sun. Hail Hekate Erigenea, ruler of the moon. As creator of the sun, you shine down upon us, bringing life to all things. As ruler of the moon, you light up the darkest nights. On this day, when the day equals the night and the sun and moon are balanced, I honor you as divine keeper of balance. On this day, when the day equals the night, may I understand the balance of my own life, that the darkness and the storms yield to the winds of change, ushering in a new season. Hekate and Medea, my road may be a difficult one, but my faith that all will be born anew is strong. I offer my gratitude, blessed Hekate. Hail Hekate Pasicratrea, queen of the universe. Hail Hekate Agloas, creator of the sun. Hail Hekate Erigenea, ruler of the moon. Hail and welcome to Hekate. Pasicratrea is an epithet meaning mother of all. Agloas is, it sounds like glowing, right? You can feel the glow in that epithet. And then Erigenea is an epithet that's really near and dear to me, one of my primary epithets. And it basically means goddess of the dawn, or the time just before the sun rises in the sky. So those are the three epithets. And that poem is very personal to me. It's my own way of seeing Hekate. I wrote it so long ago. I hope you find some resonance and connection with Hekate through that verse. And now get comfortable. Just close your eyes. Relax your body. Uncross any energies. Allow the feet to expand and soften. Let's take a breath in here. We're going to be working through unifying the 3 selves exercise before we journey into Hecate's garden. Take your breath and pull it down, allowing yourself to take up all the space until the breath fills the belly. And as you let it go, envision roots from deep within your sitting bones unfurling. Taking another deep breath. And as you let this one go, those roots tether and ground you. And let's spend a moment here as your roots stretch down to Mother Earth. See if you can tap into the vitality, the business of animals reawakening, of roots coming back to life. of sprouts coming up. Let's connect to that. And now let's go into the energy of our heart, taking our breath into our ribs and filling them up and allowing them to expand. Feeling the strength of your back that saw you through winter and the softening of the front with the out breath. Connecting to this meditation, connecting to the natural world. The above ground, maybe the birds are singing where you are, connecting to that. And now, speaking of birds, the birds fly to the heights and often symbolize the element of air, the upper world, the mind, the higher self. So let's pull that breath upwards into our mind, and with the release, any interfering thoughts just go away. Sliding down through the heart and the root into Mother Earth, where they will be reformed and reborn into what is essential. Now, this time when you take your breath in, again, a nice short breath here, goes to the throat. And I want you to see the entrance to Hecate's garden, or sense it. Excitement, possibility. And as you let it go, step into Hecate's garden with me. It is early spring here in the garden. The first flowers are poking through. Maybe you see crocuses, daffodils, snowdrops. Maybe the beloved deer are here, looking a bit ragged after their long winter, reminding us that we too have gone through difficult times. The birds, the spring birds are singing, the chickadees. Maybe there's a crow, not overly impressed that all the spring singing birds have come back. You might sense the new farm animals, the lambs, the chicks, all the new life in Hecate's garden. And as we walk to the great altar, gathering round, in the center of which is Hecate's eternal flame, the Hieros Pure, you can see on one side it is illuminated by the moon, and on the other side it is brightened up by the sun. Spring is the season when the old gives way to the new, when the interior gives way to the exterior, when what is hidden becomes revealed. The equinox in particular, of course, is a day of equanimity, of balance, sun, moon, old, new. The final breaths of what longs to die, to create space for what urges us to be born. And you may find yourself with an offering in your hands for great Hekate. and all of our allies here in this deeper world. Whatever it is, place it on the altar, noticing it. That is a key for you. That is something that perhaps needs to go, or something that needs to be born. Connecting to your own deeper self, your intuition, and aligning with the messages of Hekate and our spirits. And as we stand here contemplating this turn of the great wheel, seeing sun and moon, new life, but also the remains of the decay of the season of winter, the brown grass, the fallen leaves, the muck. There is a sense of sacredness that permeates this place as great Hekate herself descends, bringing with her her spirits, of course, other goddesses, Persephone, Demeter, as they emerge and turn the wheel. Maybe Medea and Circe, excited at the potential of practicing their pharmakeia. Whatever spirits come through here, just spend a moment with them. Perhaps even the spirit of spring will come through. There are different goddesses and spirits associated with spring, dryads, the goddess Estra or Astera, where the modern name for the spring equinox that we may use comes from. Artemis and Selene may show up. Selene, the moon, of course, having to allow the fact that her dominant period of the year is ending. Artemis, of course, always found where the wild things are. Perhaps even the Kaliak herself shows up to say her fond farewells as we bid winter goodbye, ushering in the spring goddesses. Bridget, of course, has a spring aspect to her. Just absorbing this vitality and this duality, that there is still much that has been laid to rest, and yet that creates the space for new life. Now, if your goddesses and spirits have given you a gift, hold on to that, absorbing it into your being. And now we take one final look around as we walk down the path back to regular mind, noticing the animals and the plants, soaking in that energy. Crossing back into regular mind. Becoming aware of the body once more. Breathing in, smiling is a great, simple thing to do to pull you back fully into your body after a meditative experience. Wiggling around. And I encourage you to make some notes, a few little sketches of your experiences during the meditation. And I thank you for trusting me to lead you through that experience.
I wanted to share what I'll be teaching starting this May. So before we jump into the course offerings, I want to say that I am doing the traditional free Beltane retreat. How we're going to do it this year, just to make it easier for everybody, is I'm going to put up a lengthy free trial period in the Hecate's Keys program. You come in, costs you nothing for the whole 4 days of the retreat. We got a lot of great stuff planned as always. If you like it, you want to stay in Hecate's Keys, you do nothing. If you just wanted to come in for the retreat, cancel, cost you nothing. It's the easiest solution. Over the years, we've tried different methods for doing this, and what happens, it's confusing because we have a lot of people come in for the free retreat and they want to stay, and then it's a hassle to get for them to get on a plan, and there's a lot of back ending going back and forth. So I was like, what is the easiest way to do this? I will set a longer free trial. Y'all can come in, have the retreat. You'll also be able to see all of our renewal season events and more. And then, like I said, if you don't want to stay, you just cancel, cost you nothing. You want to stay, do nothing. Easy peasy. So what we're doing with the courses in this spring is that the Hecate's Keys program, of course, will continue. It's going into its 6th continuous year. So what we are doing, so if you don't know what the Hecate's Keys program is, it's a series of 4 gates that are seasonally based. Each gate unlocks so much. So this will be renewal season. It's the time in Hecate's garden. We'll be doing clay goddesses. Our big project is the Artifacts Vita, which basically means life architect. It's about mapping our own journey in connection with like Hecate's roles as a Triformis, the triple goddess, Enodia, goddess of roads and crossroads, and Propylaea, the gatekeeper. This is a really interesting and layered project that takes you through personal inquiry. What we do is we extract the wisdom, the beneficial from our journey so far to create this Artifacts Vita, the story of our life so far. It's a offering to Hekate, of course, a devotional act, right? Because we're through the creation of this talisman, we are saying that we want to devote our lives to her and that we honor our journey that got us to this crossroads. It's quite a compelling project. It was a new one that we started 2 years ago. This year we're building some templating around it, so you'll have lots of resources. Nicole, our art educator and paper witch, is working on templates to guide everyone through the project. So that's the big project. Our big ritual is our summer solstice, full moon, sovereign goddesses ritual. So that's the Hecate's Keys program. And I should mention we are doing the asteroid Hekate in our chart is our kind of our big feature in terms of astrology, and we're also working with Hecate's Eternal Cauldrons reading for our reading. We do a reading series each term. So that's what's going on in Hecate's Keys for the Gate of Renewal, which starts with Beltane. We go right into the new moon. I think it's just a few days after we're done with the Beltane retreat. Then what happens? Then what happens for those who want the deeper journey. I'm teaching the Mistai this year. Now, this is the first time in several years, I think since 2019 or 2020, that I've opened up the Mistai. How I've been teaching it for the past few years is I've been selecting the students that get into it. This year, we wanted to do something different and open it up to anybody who feels that they want, a more in-depth study. So the Mistai is nested on top of Hecate's keys. So everything we do in Hecate's keys is merged into the richer curriculum of the Mistai. If you come in for the Beltane retreat and decide to stay, how that works is there's an add-on that you just add to the Hecate's keys subscription for the Mistai. The Mistai, I want you to think of the Mistai like a graduate school seminar. And like graduate school seminars, the curriculum typically will change with each year. So how I'm doing it, starting in May, so it's year long, 4 temples as opposed to gates, so 4 courses that are seasonal, again, in alignment with Hecate's keys. I have a book coming out in late August, September 2025. That's where I've been working on that as well as, doing curriculum development. And I've decided that we're going to root ourselves in the Mistai into this new book. If you've taken Lampadia, this is how Lampadia was taught before Entering Hecate's Cave came out. So what I'll do is I'll give chapters, there'll be chapters from the book, which will be PDFs, and then we'll have our classes and we'll go deeper into what we're doing in Hecate's keys and then intersect it with the content in the book. I'm really excited about this. With both of those programs, they do cover a whole year, 12 lunar months. Of course, everything in Covina is based around the moon's cycles, the moon months. So they last basically a year. For the Mistai, there are 4 projects, which include presentations. So the Mistai is a leadership development program. I get a lot of messages and people who are like, I want to be a priestess or a priestess of Hekate. And I've been at this a long time, friends. Leadership skills in terms of how you make presentations, how you can communicate, that is the fundamental tool if you want to be called to sacred leadership. Priestessing is not all channeled messages deep in the heart of a ritual. To be a priestess is to be a leader. And the Mistai, through its curriculum basis on doing these projects and developing phenomenal presentation skills and being able to successfully facilitate events, that is absolutely fundamental if you want to be a spiritual leader. Also, it's transferable to more mundane world where you develop these great presentation skills, and whether you're doing your own if you're going to graduate school. I have a lot of students that go to graduate school that if the Mistai helps you to be a leader of your own life too. It is not, it's not a casual thing, the Mistai, and students just absolutely love it. So Hecate's Keys is that foundational program. The Mistai is, yes, I do feel a calling to be a spiritual leader in some capacity, even if that is being the spiritual leader of my own life, my own home, whatever it is I'm doing. And it does have those 4 projects that have presentations. Non-negotiable I am with the presentations. You want to be a spiritual leader, you do the presentations. Of course, if you aren't looking for formal graduation, just come and do the Mistai and you can stay in the program but not do the presentations. You won't graduate from it. Hecate's Keys does offer a graduation based on your own honor, that you say you've completed the rituals and the projects and so on. So it's still a graduation, and I want to applaud everyone who does it. But with the Mistai, there is a structure in place that provides a pathway to formal graduation. That being said, with the Mistai, there is no guarantee that graduating from the Mistai will result in anyone becoming part of the Covina leadership team. But it does give you all of those skills, even if you wanted to go and start your own coven, for example. It really is a program that is geared towards spiritual leadership. All right, it's the spring equinox. I'm going to take my cold and drink some more tea and get ready for our Sabbath salon in the coven.